Welcome aboard. Once you have located your seat, we ask you that you please step out of the aisle so the passengers behind you can pass you. This will expedite our boarding process. Your large carry-on items need to go in the overhead compartments. Your smaller ones underneath the seat in front of you, keeping all exits and aisles clear. If you need assistance, please contact the flight attendant.
Well.
We'll
need assistance.
We're gonna need assistance.
What's up, guys?
What's going on,
What's going
man?
on? What's going on?
I'm good. Nothing much. Quiet day.
Great to have you all take the time out of your day to come speak with us here. Another Rise Up Tour podcast. Superstar Thomas is always in a different setting. Never know where he's going to be. There we go. Is that the second option?
Yeah, it's the second option, man. The sun was a little bit too bright.
How's everything, y'all? For those that's tuning in now or could be watching later, we are live here with Lee Proctor, and of course Darren too as well from our London crew out there in the UK area, who's going to be helping us out a lot with
Can you hear us?
Fans and Rise Up Tour fans. Oh yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, cool. Sorry. Now the reason I've not got the camera on is I went to the dentist Thursday, and it didn't work out the way it's supposed to. So half my face is still like blown away. Just a mess at the moment.
It's all good.
It's all good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Thomas, what's good, brother?
Nothing much, man. Just recovering from yesterday. We up and at it pretty early. We had a good turnout yesterday, and I know we have been working with the guys across the pond to get them on. So as promised, this is where we are.
That is definitely right. I already got people messaging me questions already about London, because a lot of people are excited for this trip, for the Falcon fans to make this trip going across the pond to go play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thomas, this is big for the Rise Up Tour, because we have a lot of people from the Rise Up Tour going to London.
So before we do that, Jack, I feel like it's proper to give Lee and Darren their opportunity to introduce themselves,
of course,
to everybody, because some may see them when they do come across the pond for a Georgia game, or they're not, when they're here on holiday, they're here for, maybe I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but give them an opportunity to introduce themselves, how long they've been Falcons fans, why they choosing the Dirty Birds, you know what I mean? So again, just welcome everybody back to the family, So without further ado, we're gonna start with Lee Proctor. You got the floor.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Right, I've been a Falcons fan since 2007. Made my first trip over to see. It's supposed to be a Michael Vick trip, but that didn't go to plan for obvious reasons. Joey Harrington was our quarterback. It was on Monday Night Football. I've been coming over for the last 15 years, give or take, before COVID. Hoping to get back next year.
Okay, cool. Darren?
Yeah, I'm a little bit older, I guess. Back, we first were aware of the NFL in the UK, like mid-80s, late 80s. And back at that time, there's one store and only sold certain teams, so Redskins, 49ers, Cowboys, Giants. So that's why I got a big fan base in the UK. So when I got taken to the store, I was only really young. I chose the 49ers to start with. Mm-hmm. And then in 92, we had a weekly roundup show in the UK. I mean, now we have live games on Thursdays, free games Sundays, the Monday night game. And it done a piece on the Falcons, and it showed Jerry Glanville going across the turf on a quad bike. Mm-hmm. It's Andre Rison, Tim Bakaya, MC Hammer dancing down the touchline. But then what made me a Falcon, which I think a lot of people were the same, is when I saw Primetime. When I saw Primetime, I was like, wow, that is just something else. And that made me a Dirty Bird for life. As soon as I saw Prime, that's it. That was it for me. I just boxed up all the 49er stuff, gave it to the charity shop, went and got loads of like Falcon stuff. Because I went to the US 92, was my 93 was my first time. Mm-hmm. And my aunt lived in Maryland, and I said, I want to go to a sports store. And she went, okay, And she took me to a sports store. She goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, "You're buying up the entire Atlanta Falcons stock." I was like, "I just want everything." And even the guy in the store was going, "What is this guy on? He's going crazy." And I was just, and that was it. And I've only been to Atlanta once. I went in 2017, but I timed it right and wrong. I timed it right that there was 2 games. So I caught the Vikings game on a Sunday, which was terrible. And then I saw a game against the Aints on a Thursday, which we won. And that was just great, mainly because I was able to make fun of a few Saints fans in the crowd, and it got a bit funny. Because there's this one dude sitting next to me, and he kept saying, "Who dat, who dat, who dat?" And I just couldn't resist. So I tapped the guy in front of him on the shoulders wearing glasses. I said, "Excuse me, this dude behind me can't see fuck." Because he keeps saying, sorry for my language, guys. He kept saying, "Who's that, who dat, who dat?" I said, "If you wear his glasses, you might be able to see." And he just turned around and goes, "You think you're a comedian?" I went, but the downside was I got caught in a snowstorm in Atlanta. So I had to stay an extra day in Atlanta. And then when I arrived in the UK, we had a snowstorm in the UK, so I was like, "Fuck, man." But this was December 2017, and all week the news was saying we may get snow. And when I left the hotel, it wasn't that bad. But then after 3 hours on the runway, it was like, we're going nowhere. And then it turned back, and then it was like, and then trying to find a hotel and all that stuff. But it wasn't going to sell what happened. I mean, I saw us beat the Aints, so I don't care about a bit of snow for one day. It's fine. It's not a problem. Because I work in the travel industry, so my company was able to bend the rules, shall we say, and change my ticket free of charge. So it's all.
Welcome to Atlanta. Got to see the Vikings game, which I remember that game too as well. And then the Aints, I remember that was like a back-to-back, the Thursday night game too as well.
Yeah. Because the Vikings is really low scoring. I was thinking I've come thousands of miles, and I'm like, really? But the good thing pre-game was, sorry, I took way too much, but I've never done tailgate. I've never done tailgating before, so I must have been around the block about 3 or 4 times opposite the stadium. So one guy said, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" I said, "What's the deal? Is it just like families and friends, or because we don't have this?" He goes, "No, just $20, all you can eat and drink." And I thought you'd tell an Englishman all you can drink for $20. I thought, but then they said they have the food depending on the opponent. So they had like all sausages because it's Vikings fans. And then a group of Vikings fans turned up, and they tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Right, we're going to do a drinking game, Falcons Vikings." And I said, "All right, fine." And your shot glasses are way bigger than our shot glasses. And it was Fireball, and I've never had Fireball before. And they said, "Right, three against 3, last man standing or woman standing wins." And so we're doing all these shots, and it turns out just me left, and it's one huge dude who's about 6'4", beard. And I thought, I'm going to get done. And people tapped me on the shoulder going, "Oh, you're repping the A, you're repping Atlanta, you got to do this." I went, "Have you seen the size of that?" And then when I saw him bend over and start puking, I thought, "I've won." They said, "No, you still got to drink you still got to drink your shot." And I went, "No, but by default he's been sick." They said, No, you got to drink it." So I drank it, and they said, "Right, we've got to wait a minute to see if you." I said, "No, I'm good." But I looked at my watch saying it's like 11:15 in the morning, and I've been drinking JD, I've been drinking shots. And I thought, thank goodness the stadium was across the road. I said, if that stadium wasn't there, I said,
that's a tailgate for me down here in the A.
That's my introduction to tailgate.
We love it on Sundays. It's a game day experience. I'm sure for you guys, soccer fans too as well, football fans. It's a game day experience for you all when it comes to.
No, that'd be illegal. Tailgate would be illegal over here. The police would never allow that to happen. We can go into pubs, that's fine, but tailgate would never happen. No.
So
too much fighting amongst fans.
This is big, Falcons fans, because for those of you that's traveling to London, to have somebody who's there in London, they're over there across the seas to tell us everything that's going on in the London area or around the stadium, they can give us some inside information that can help some of you fans. So, Thomas, what you got here for us today? Because this is great that Darren and Lee can take some time out of their day to come talk to us. And, of course, with so many fans making that trip, people want to ask some questions and get some information. So, Thomas, how we rolling here, brother?
All right. First thing first, please tell the people which airport is the most convenient and the easiest to get in.
Well, this is a
Heathrow, straight up.
This is
central London.
This is kind of a an interesting one because, yeah, like Lee's saying, Heathrow is the closest to London, but it's more expensive than Gatwick. But with Heathrow, what can happen with Heathrow is there is a rail airport train called the Heathrow Express. Takes around 25 minutes and goes into Paddington Station, which is quite central to London, and it costs around between 18 to 20 pounds. Alternatively, there is the subway, but it takes about 75 minutes into the centre of London, but that will only cost you about £8. And an interesting thing for people to know, if you've got a contactless card, like a debit card, that is basically your travel card. So you can get discounted travel if you've got contactless debit card. So you can tap into the subway, go on the buses, and you'll get it the same rate as if you had an Oyster card. And what the Oyster card is, it's like one of the Marta cards where you buy it and you top it up and you get discounts that way. But if you've got a contactless card, you don't need to buy an Oyster card. That is then your Oyster card, basically. Secondly,
go ahead.
Gatwick Airport is much further away, but it's cheaper to fly into. But then they have very good rail links into the centre of London. They have an airport train called the Gatwick Express. Takes about 35 minutes and goes into Victoria Station, which is bang centre in London. And, Buckingham Palace is round the corner. All the sites are close to that station. But they also have what they call regional trains, which take 45 minutes to an hour. And there's one called Thameslink. And that goes into a lot of the major London stations. So King's Cross, Blackfriars, London Bridge. So although Gatwick is much, much further away, it does have good rail links into London. And I think if you guys look at the airfares, you'll see that Gatwick will come in cheaper. And I think it's for that reason that it's not as convenient as Heathrow, but it still has good links into central London. So if you fly into Gatwick, the Gatwick Express these days, I think it's about £23-24. But for both airports, totally forget taxis, Uber, totally forget that because they're just way, way too far out. And it would cost you an absolute fortune to get into a cab. Even an Uber would still be quite pricey. And what we got in London, what we got in the UK as well is, I know in the US I use the Lyft app quite a lot. We've got a company called Bolt, which is a rival to Uber, and they are like a fraction of the price. But again, don't use it from the airports. But if you're in maybe central London somewhere and your hotel's not that far away, then that's an option. But the transport links in the central London are really, really good. I mean, our subway system is superb. Our bus system's good. We have night buses and sometimes night tubes. So,
but then if you did that up here, 4 hours north of London, and even I don't have that.
Lee, when you're coming back and forth, I know you've been to America a lot, Lee. When you're traveling back and forth, do you use Gatwick or Heathrow, Lee?
I'm up north, so I use more Manchester, but if the price is right, I'd either use Gatwick or Heathrow.
Okay. So
I've even done going via Dublin before, which brought the price down dramatically, but they don't fly direct to Atlanta. You'd have to go via Miami, I think it is. Or one or the other.
I'm pretty sure Delta only flies to Heathrow. I'm pretty sure Delta's at Heathrow.
I know they changed it
American.
After COVID, they never brought it back to
a lot of our fans seem to be flying to Heathrow.
I think that's
that is flying to Gatwick. I'm glad you explained the information of having a nice rail system that can get you into London, but it's a little bit more expensive. But a lot of fans look to be flying Heathrow.
Sorry, but if you take the train, I mean, the train will take 25 minutes, and Paddington's really central in London. Then from there you can get to other places. So it depends where you guys are staying. But Paddington's a good base. But then, as I said, you can take the subway. But the only problem with the subway is at least 75 minutes to central London. And unfortunately, I've arrived like overnight from the States before, got onto the subway, fell asleep.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I ended up at the other end of the line, and I'm like, oh shit. And then you're like,
done that in the Marta before.
And then you're not nearly crying.
This stop totally.
I'm now in like Hertfordshire somewhere. I'm not even in London anymore, and it's like, so I've gone from outside London one side to outside of London the other side. So it took me then like an hour to get back again. So that's what I tell people when I've seen people like really tired getting onto the subway. I went, don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. So I said, trust me, don't want to fall asleep.
Just good coffee.
So
Yeah, just go to Starbucks
Heathrow.
before you get on it. Bang.
Falcons fans, Heathrow Airport seems to be the most convenient. I know some fans were mentioning in other groups, or I've seen in the Rise Up Tour, some people have mentioned using Gatwick. You can if you're staying further away, but we seem to recommend Heathrow, which is closer to the stadium where the game is being played. This is it's more convenient for fans staying in that area. Lee or Darren. Heathrow Airport to Wembley. How close are we talking?
It's nowhere near.
Couple of hours at least.
Yeah, I mean, Wembley's in
North London,
the northwest of London, yeah, and Heathrow's like in the suburbs. So staying at Heathrow's no. I mean, if you're staying, if you're staying maybe central London or northwest London, because Wembley itself, I mean, from the centre of London, it's not that difficult. It's on what we call the Metropolitan line. And also, but they've got this, actually, let me just explain Wembley. There's 3 stations at Wembley. You've got two subway stations, 1 train station. But the best one to get into is Wembley Park, which is on the Metropolitan line, which is kind of a burgundy colour, or the Jubilee line, which is a silver colour. But the Metropolitan line is quite fast to Wembley. It only tends to stop outside of central London. It stops Wembley's like 2 stops kind of from Baker Street. So yeah, so in terms of the airport, I mean, the airport's near nowhere. So Heathrow's near it's near nowhere. It's not like in Atlanta where Hartsfield's not too far from the centre. In London, no.
They all cross over each other as well. So it's not just like one or 2 lines crossing over. It's about 3 or 4.
Okay, really helpful information, guys. Really, thank you, guys.
So you said it was like 23 pounds or something like that, right? To ride
on the Heathrow Express, yeah.
Right, yeah. So it's about $40, I think that is.
Yeah.
But I think some of the airlines can actually, you can buy them on the plane. I think sometimes the tickets Delta might be able to sell you the ticket on the train, or you can just get it on an app on your app. Just go to Heathrow Express and buy it that way.
Okay, cool. So the other question we'll ask is, everybody wants to know is what area to stay in, right? So we know that the airports are not centralized to London. However, as you explained about the stadiums, Wembley Stadium is not necessarily close. What, you guys are very well experienced in where all the activities are. I guess I'm assuming everybody wants to stay near that area.
Yeah, because what I did was I did a post when I said about areas near Wembley, around Wembley. But you can stay in the centre of London. It's quite easy because of the transport links are so good. So if you want to say where all the tourist spots are, like in Hyde Park or Paddington, it would take you maybe about 30 to 40 minutes to Wembley.
Yeah, the only downside is that it ain't cheap. Staying central.
Yeah.
I mean, staying central London is great if you want to see the sights, but it is quite expensive. But there's areas near the stadium, such as, let me think, Edgware, Mill Hill. I did a big post on it, and they're close, and you can get Ubers to the stadium. But then again, you'd have to get the subway back in like 20 minutes, half an hour to just see the sights. So staying in central London is not, Hyde Park, places like that, Paddington, where the train actually goes into, Kensington. I mean, they're all centre near the sites, but then to get to Wembley isn't that difficult. So, for example, if you stayed in Kensington, which is a really nice area, I used to work there. It would take you again about 25 minutes, 30 minutes by subway. It wouldn't take you that long. So staying in the centre is not really a problem. I mean, Wembley's 10 miles from the centre, because our subway system's so good. It doesn't take ages to get there. And the only thing, I mean, I don't want to keep talking. I need Lee can come in, but
no, you're good. This is helping us all.
Because I live near Wembley, not too far. I live out in the suburbs, so for me it's easy. I can get like buses and stuff like that. For the rest of you, I suppose, yeah, it's because our transport links are so good. But the one thing about Wembley is getting into the stadium is not a problem. When you come home, what they do, if you're taking the subway, they have what we call a filtering system. So you have to all queue up outside the station, then they bring you in like 20, like a couple of, I don't know how many people at a time, but they bring you in like waves of people. So you have, sometimes it can take 15, 20 minutes, sometimes it can take more. And if you've arrived at the stadium by bus or by Uber or by Bolt, what happens at the end of the what happens around the stadium is they shut all the roads. So the main roads which you would have come in on will no longer be open. And unlike with the bends where you have the lift drop-off zone where you can go around and pick up we don't have that at Wembley at all. We don't have anything like that. So what you'd have to do, you'd have to walk away maybe a few blocks away from the stadium before you can maybe try and book a ride or pick up your bus, because your bus would be diverted, so it wouldn't go its normal route. Have to go around because they shut the stadium down. So just so people aware, they will get into the stadium absolutely fine, but leaving a stadium, if you're taking subway, you may have to wait 30-40 minutes to get onto the platform, onto the track, sorry. Or if you're looking to get an Uber or a Bolt or bus, you may have to walk a little bit away from the stadium to get that.
So most people that's taking the train coming from, I guess, Paddington, Kensington, maybe more of the downtown London area that's going toward Wembley, there is a train that gets you that stops at the stadium.
Wembley Park is the best station, but there's three stations. Wembley Park is opposite the stadium, so it's really good, and you can take the Metropolitan line or the Jubilee line from central London. There is another station called Wembley Central, which is about a 10-minute walk away, and you too can pick that up from central London, but it takes quite a while. I mean, the quickest subway line by far is the Metropolitan line, because it only tends to stop a couple of stops in Wembley, whereas the Jubilee line to Wembley Park, they just stop everywhere.
Well, the other one's more like an express line. This is like every little stop.
And
this is great.
There is a train station next to Wembley Stadium called Wembley Stadium, surprisingly, but that train goes from Marylebone Station, but I'm not sure if that runs on a Sunday. It tends to only stop at Wembley occasionally, so I would rule that one out. Just stick to the Metropolitan line subway. You can't go wrong, because literally you get off the train, you go through the ticket barriers, and there's the stadium. Just literally walk down to the stadium. So it's really easy. It's just that on game day it can get as you can imagine, it gets quite crowded.
Falcon fans, this is great. As you can see, send your questions, send your comments here so we can read them on the screen, get them into Darren and Lee, because when you have somebody on the ground,
the thing is, it's going to be a lot more organized compared to what we had when we was at Tottenham a few years ago, because that was one of the first ones. Wembley is it's a well-oiled machine, to put it nicely. So everything will run fairly smoothly.
And of course, with this game being now in 2023, this game is much bigger than what it was years ago when the Falcons played, I think, Detroit years ago.
Yeah, we had Detroit at Wembley, and then we had Jets at Tottenham, I think 2 years ago, I think it was, where COVID was still slightly about, so not as many people travel for that.
Falcon fans, this is great. Thomas, I'm ready. I'm about to start packing for London, so I'm excited. To get all this information, to hear about the transit system, how it's going to be working when we get out there. But yeah, Thomas, what you got?
Okay. So we touched on that. So I guess one question to ask is the hotels in the area. Like we touched on that, but the question is, should they stay in a centralized still, or should they, like you said, we'll save money if we stay outwards? But if you want to be, because where are the NFL activities, right? So I guess people don't want to necessarily go down and say, hey, I got to go an hour away to go to an activity because I'm staying an hour away. So centralized would be best.
Yeah. Lee can take this one.
I think last time there was more around the stadium on game day, but leading up to the game was like in central London, if I remember rightly.
That's right, yeah. Yeah,
So
I mean,
it might be more beneficial staying in central London than coming out for the game, just this game itself. Because if you're going to be
Yeah.
in London for 4 or 5 days, then you're in the mix of everything that's going on.
Okay.
and also what we had last time, we had what the NFL UK are doing is they do a fan rally and they allocate a pub in central London to each
Yeah.
of the teams. Now, last time we had a pub which was in Trafalgar Square, which is bang centre.
Yeah,
In
Darren
London.
witnessed my hangover.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember that. That was good.
A couple of Bama fans, let's just say that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We went to a bar near to it, which is a Canadian sports bar, which is showing college games, and yeah, Lee was just having a chat with some Bama fan.
Bearing in mind, my first drink after having 2 years off with heart surgery, so it got emotional.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, man.
Okay,
But
cool.
hopefully we get at the same pub again. If not, I think the
Hopefully.
alternative one is in London Bridge, which again isn't really difficult to get to. But yeah, following what Lee was saying, I think if you stay central, then yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong really. Whereas if you stayed near Wembley, there's a lot of hassle getting all the way into London. It's like if they had a fan rally in Trafalgar Square and you're staying at Wembley, you're talking about 30-40 minute trip in if you take the Metropolitan line, and then if you've had a few too many beers, you then got to try and get all the way back, and so yeah, there's just no. It's kind of different, I guess. In London is where our airports are nowhere near the centre, our biggest stadium is nowhere near the centre, as opposed to Atlanta, where the stadium is bang in the centre and the airport's not too far away. So I think that's what people got to realise is the stadium and the airport's way out. I mean, Heathrow Airport's not actually in London. Obviously, Gatwick's not in London; it's in Sussex. And the Wembley Stadium is not classed as London either; it's classed as like Middlesex, but it's just outside of London in the suburbs. So
Now-
yeah,
Going over what Lee had just mentioned about the fan ready that they had with the NFL International Committee, whoever's putting on these events. Lee, was there events going on Friday, Saturday, the day of the game, or was it more like Saturday? And
It was more Saturday, more than anything. They did a few odds and sods, but it was more with the Jacksonville Jaguars more than anything. They didn't really, but hopefully that will change.
Mm-hmm. And they had different locations for fans to show
Yeah,
up for.
so they did open practices with the Jaguars. I think it was Thursday, Friday, and then they came in central London, did the fan rally, had the allocated pubs, etc. But hopefully, it's going to be a bit more organised this time with COVID being a thing of the past.
and
But-
which player turned up, Lee, at the London pub? The London one.
It was
One of the
Warwick
players-
Dunn. It was Warwick Dunn.
Warwick Dunn, yeah.
Warwick Dunn. Shout out to Warwick Dunn, man. Big
Yeah.
time fan of Warwick Dunn. I also see Warwick Dunn from time to time too as well. So it'd be great to run into him
He's a legend.
in London too as well. Thomas, you hearing this information about the Falcons putting on these events? So Falcon fans that's traveling across the pond to go to London, I know you're expecting something from the Rise Up tour, and we are trying to put something together as well, but we don't want to step on any toes going on with what the NFL got going on internationally. But we are going to get something going when it comes to the fans having a good time. I think Lee and Darren have looked into some things already to see what fans can do and come out and have a good time. Now, talk to me about this, because somebody mentioned this. A lot of fans talked about the changing of the guard. How big is this out there in London, the changing of the guard situation?
I have to say, definitely.
It is a big thing. If you're a royalist, it's a big thing. But my family is military, so that means a lot to me. But to some people, it might be nothing kind of thing. But
And the lines are long, apparently.
massive.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think you have to get there early.
Early.
I guess being from London and living in London all my life, I take it for granted, I guess, all these type of things. So to me, it's not a huge deal, whereas someone else, obviously, like someone coming over from the States, it is a big thing because it's not something you see every day, the changing of the guard. So, but I guess you want to get there maybe early morning or later in the afternoon, because lunchtime up to about 3 o'clock, it can get a bit hectic with tourists. But yeah, if you go outside the peak times, it's not too much of a problem.
And for fans that's in this area, around the Buckingham Palace area and so forth, and around where they have these parks, there's going to be a lot of traffic, I'm guessing, too, as well, right?
Around, it's around the Buckingham Palace, so it's not there is a little bit of traffic, but
I
again,
don't think
that's
it's as
where
bad as it used to be.
Okay.
no, it's not.
They
It's not as
bought
busy. as-
congestion charging a few years back, and I think
Wow.
that's got rid of a lot of the traffic. It's just
Okay.
people.
Because it seems like a hot tourist spot where people want to be. So I'm guessing, people coming from, different places around the world, they want to come to this area just for this event. But yeah, people was asking about the traffic in that area too as well. But yeah, Thomas.
But also
Darren?
because our subway system is so good that you don't. No one who lives in London drives really because our transport links are so good. You might as well just don't forget about driving. I mean, hop on buses by all means. And there's another tip. I mean, I don't know if people use it, but with London buses, the set fee is like £1.75, which I use your contactless card. But if you get on a bus, say at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you transit onto another bus within the hour, then that second bus becomes free, so you only get charged once. So if you
transit going in the same direction,
so as long as you transit within the hour of getting onto your first bus, then the second bus is a free ride basically. So it's useful if you're in a tourist area. So if you just say you went to the changing of the guard and you think, I want to go to Oxford Street, you just jump on a bus to Oxford Street, and then after half hour, I want to go to Regent's Park, and then you can jump on another bus to Regent's Park, and it only costs you £1.75. So that's just a little tip.
This is some helpful information, especially for me going across the pond to London, because I'm gonna go back and listen to this podcast and definitely get some information that's gonna help me when I start booking my excursions or whatever I want to do going out there. I think, how far is now Paris? People talked about how they can jump on, I guess, the Eurostar apparently, and
yeah,
not the
Eurostar's
Eurostar, but I think it's about an hour flight, and we have Ryanair, EasyJet, which is probably, if you book it early enough, probably 50 quid.
But yeah,
something like that.
But Eurostar is good. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I think if you book it in advance, I mean, Leah's right. By flight, you can go a lot cheaper, but it's a lot more awkward. I mean, if you're staying in central London, there's a station called St Pancras, which is right in the centre of London, and the Eurostar, I think
that's why
2.5
in Sheffield, so it's absolutely huge. It's like an airport, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Eurostar takes, I think, I've done it quite a few times, about 2.5 hours, and sometimes if you book in advance, you can maybe get a round trip fare for like £59 to £89. But the good thing about it is it's not like an airport. You literally go through the barrier, straight to the customs desk, go past that, and the tracks are right there. So you can take away all the hassle of the stress of the airport, going all over the place. And because you've already done your customs checks, when you get to the other end in Paris, you get off the train and just walk. And a station in Paris is called Gare du Nord, and that's their equivalent, I guess, of St Pancras, because that has loads of metro lines attached to it. So yeah, you can go to Paris quite easily if you want to. And a good suggestion, if you were thinking of getting a Eurostar, places to stay, there's an area of London called Russell Square, which is about a 15-minute walk from St Pancras. But if you go into Wembley, then you can take the metro one stop to King's Cross and Pancras again, change there, and you can take the train straight to Wembley Park. So, but yeah, I mean, it's as Lee was saying, for easiness and quickness, you can use the Eurostar, but in terms of cost, you could take, like Lee was saying, one of the low cost carriers like Ryanair, EasyJet from Luton or Stansted or somewhere like that.
Yeah, if you take them, you have to have your seat on the actual wing, though. You don't get a seat in the plane.
yeah.
Lee, Darren, this is a lot, and I really do appreciate it, guys, because just like how you guys felt when you guys came across to America, same way that's how we're going to feel going across.
It's a massive experience. We get that. I think, me for one, I think I take it for granted because I've done it for that many years. Then I realised a lot of Americans have never been out of the States.
Okay.
No.
So look, let me.
It's like when I went to Atlanta, the way on the Facebook pages, all the help people gave me was just amazing. And then I met up with lots of different people, giving me tips on where to go and what to try. And then I thought, now I've got the opportunity to give back. So for all those guys that helped me, I'm thinking, right now it's my turn to give back to you. So
I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
So I got to ask this. I need We need 3 things that we must eat in London, or just in the UK. Period. What are 3 you must eat?
Fish and
Well, our
chips.
most famous. Yeah, go for it, mate. You do your
Roasted
3, I'll
lamb.
do my 3.
With my mother's Yorkshire puddings. I like you
Yeah.
on this one.
So fish and chips.
Sunday roast with Yorkshire puddings.
Sunday roast. I'm a Yorkshire boy.
Yeah, with Yorkshire puddings, I totally agree with Lee. Yorkshire puddings are, they're good, man. I mean, the third one, it's just the 2 options I'm going to give. One of them's not actually English. I mean, our most popular dish in the UK is not English. It's not an English cuisine. It's curry.
Curry.
And we got a place called
Chicken tikka masala.
Mm-hmm.
we got a place called Brick Lane, and that does the best curries in London, I've been told. I mean, I don't personally eat them, but
Brick Lane.
Brick as in a brick in a wall, like brick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Brick Lane, and that's in London.
That's in the east part of London. Yeah.
They do like a shrimp curry, curry chicken, everything same like that.
Yeah, and the only thing I got to say to your guys here, which I found out when I went to Atlanta, I didn't know Atlanta was like the home of like fried chicken and stuff. Because I had I wanted to really try some southern food, and people gave me suggestions, and I went to a place called Pity Patch Forge. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have heard of it, Pity Patch Forge. Was it?
That must be over in Marietta.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I'm all
right
about
next
Chick-fil-A,
to.
guys.
That's next. That's next
There
to
you
the
go.
wheel.
Chick-fil-A
There
guy.
is some Chick-fil-A, and I'm happy.
No, that
You
was
got some
next to
lemon pepper wings,
where.
but you got some good fried chicken. That's good though, especially down here.
Oh
in
yeah, I
Atlanta.
mean, I said to the person that this is the first time I taste chicken without grease, and they said sorry. I went and said in London we specialize in grease.
Mhm.
I mean, if you not get any decent fried chicken in London unless you
But
want to
just
taste
taste it. Taste the burnt oil compared to the US.
and grease, thick, loads of grease.
I remember
The only
that when
good
I see the
chicken-
lemon pepper wings on the menu. Thanks for telling me that.
We're not that classy now. The closest we got to it is what we call Nando's, but they're not English; it's Portuguese.
Thomas,
And they
remember I
do
just
like-
mentioned that to you the other day. I told you.
Nando's is overrated, guys.
Yeah,
It's very,
because,
very
you know,
chicken.
Thomas knows about it too as well. I've never tried it, but I'm going to.
It's overrated.
London, so
That's
Yeah, you
probably
can get your peri.
So
Get your peri chicken.
a public service
Yeah, Nando's.
announcement. We cannot get fried chicken in London. Don't even ask.
No,
No,
don't
man.
try.
You
And
gonna
we've
be
got
ugly.
we've got a
guys will
nickname
be
in London.
disgusted.
Yeah, we got a nickname in London because we got so many. We've got KFC, which is shit. Then what we call the sorry. Then we got what we call when you've had a few beers, we want to go to a nasty chicken shop, and that's what we call them, nasty chicken. We got PFC, DFC, pigeon fried chicken. I'm sure one of them's pigeon fried chicken. They definitely, I'm sure they're doing pigeon in there, but they are
quick catch
they are
chicken.
nasty.
I don't want that one.
They are nasty. So that's why they call nasty chicken shop. So if you've had a few too many drinks, you say, "Hey, there's a chicken shop."
They
Your
usually have
stomach
magic
might not
colours,
agree with you
though.
the next day.
So for those that do want to know, late night, they're having a good time in London, either downtown, wherever they are. Is there a late night spot people can go to, like a pizza place, or are there food trucks on the side of the road? Anything that people can get after the midnight hour?
For me, it's McDonald's at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, or
Mini nuggets and a curry
British-
sauce. Sorted.
or a nighttime British tradition is kebab.
Correct.
If you go to a kebab shop, you go to a kebab shop, but get chicken sheesh or lamb sheesh. Don't get doner.
Darren, now we're
'cause that
talking.
is just- yeah.
Thomas, you
Make
heard
me
it?
hungry, mate.
We've all been up there in the early hours of the morning, man. Getting our
12:30.
getting
We
our
just
kebab.
finished the whole bottle of Hennessy or Crown, Thomas, and here we go grabbing some chicken. What you say, chicken? What was
Sheesh.
it? Chicken
Sheesh.
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 It's like Middle Eastern. It's like naan bread. You get like chicken, slaw,
Yeah.
like mayonnaise. Sometimes you get
Yeah.
fries inside them as well.
This is
Or
the taste
you get,
of
or you get the
London.
garlic sauce. Get the garlic
Oh,
sauce.
now we're
Bobby.
talking. Chili
That
hot sauce.
that will wake
Hot
you up,
sauce.
man.
So
Oh, yeah.
Thomas, we will be trying this. We have to taste the culture, man. That's what it is, man.
Yeah,
So I
we-
guess
but
we're
the thing
trying
is-
this around 1 a.m.
But the thing
2
is,
a.m.
if we're out with you guys until that time in the morning, then yeah, we'd definitely take you to a kebab
Definitely. Just remember, guys, our beer's a little bit stronger than yours.
yeah. So,
so
that's the next
So
question.
they'd probably finish about 10 o'clock then, wouldn't they?
Oh,
They'd
mate,
be on-
beer
no,
drinker
no,
right
no.
here. So you guys got a beer drinker right here.
Hey, that's the next
I
question.
got my alcohol. I'm good. I got my
What-
I got my Ciroc, got
Yeah.
my Hennessy, my Patron, beer drinker right here. So go
Okay,
ahead,
so
Thomas.
the next question is, when you're drinking the beer, what beer are we choosing? Because I know the American beers and UK beers are a hell of a lot different.
Yeah.
So what's the beer of choice?
Stella. It's actually Belgium,
And
believe it or not.
And I'll go for one of their neighbours in Holland. I'll go for Heineken.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
mine.
Peroni's
Or-
very popular. Which
Yeah.
is Italian.
And it's
I'm a
served in a
Matt-
mug.
Madry's not too bad, but
Everything's served in the mug, right? No bottles.
we serve it in
Yeah,
glasses. We
bottles.
do have bottles. If you want a bottle, you can, but we mainly have pint glasses. But then again, if there's a sporting event on, and because they don't trust us, they then put them in plastic cups.
Darren, it's you Millwall fans that get us that
I know.
reputation.
In case
It
they get
happens
the
in our
urge to
stadium
throw
too
one.
as well. They have to pour the cup. They have to pour
We're
the beer
Sheffield
in
United fans, we're a bit more
plastic
classy.
cups, So
Yeah,
Big Little Country
I remember
said
in
he took
Atlanta,
a bag with a 412 piece Popeye's chicken box. Okay, go ahead, Country.
But yeah,
Country taking Popeyes with us to London.
I think we've got Popeyes in London, somewhere in London.
We've
I
just
don't
had a
know where.
Popeyes open near me. I've not tried it yet, so
Oh, okay.
So they have the KFC, they have Popeyes. What else do they have out there? They have McDonald's.
Nasty
I mean,
chicken.
I'm sure it's
we've
they don't
just
have,
got
No.
Five Guys is getting big.
Five Guys.
Five Guys. It's very expensive though.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
It's very
yeah.
expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, the burgers like
There's a place that's just opened near me. It's called Slim's Chicken. It's like Mississippi fried chicken. I've not tried it yet, but they're opening a few places. I'm not sure where there's one in London.
No.
So
Okay.
how late do the trains run to as well? Because people's gonna be out partying past 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. How late do the trains run? Is it 24 hours or is there a cutoff?
Well, certain lines you have to, I guess, look it up. We could look it up for you, but there's certain lines on Friday and Saturdays will run until through the night. We have what we call the night tube, but the night tube sometimes comes on strike. But we also have,
Darren, it seems
also
like
have,
what we've been talking about all week.
yeah, and we also have night buses. So night buses are good, but the only problem with a night bus is if you live a long distance away from London,
Mhm.
I think the drivers are failed Formula One drivers because they put their foot down and they just want people to fall down the stairs. They see all these drunk people and they're thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to put my foot down. And then you see them 1 minute at the top of the stairs, bang, the bottom of the stairs. And it's like, yeah, you have to really be careful on a night bus. But night buses are good. I mean, they're 24 hours. So if you're in the centre of London, there's always a way home. You got the night tube, night bus, Uber, well, normal regular taxi, but regular taxis are quite expensive. But if you're staying in the centre of London, you're not going to go too far away. So it's always going to be manageable to get back. So, for example, if you were staying in Hyde Park and you wanted to go to an area called Camden, and Camden's quite a funky area. It's got lots of bars.
Camden Yards.
Yeah, they got.
My dad was
music
very drunk there
venues.
for the FA Cup semi-final. He said it was a good night.
And
Bearing in mind, my dad's 67.
City
And-
fan?
No, Sheffield
it's,
United.
it's,
Always. Only team in Sheffield. Or is that for another day, Darren?
yeah, that's another day, I think. But yeah, I mean, Camden it's got a funky market on a Sunday. So if you want to get cheap stuff like cheap clothes and just weird stuff, it's a weird place. How can I don't know, it's just weird. But yeah, you can on a Sunday you can get like there's a massive market, loads of food stalls, loads of clothes stalls.
It's
a place you've got to try.
Hippie-ish.
Yeah. It's a bit out there a little bit, but then again, it's only like if you're staying in Hyde Park, it would take you like 15-20 minutes to get there. So, but a lot of people go out there at night time to because there's a lot of clubs and it's like different music. You have like a punk club or a rock club. I don't know what else they do there, but it's quite a decent. It's quite an interesting area. So, but then
we
again,
have
you wouldn't
something
be
like that here too as well in Atlanta. So I think most Falcon fans know the vibe, especially coming from the city that we're coming from. Going over there, people's visiting so many areas from Camden to downtown London. They're going to be going over to Some people's talking about they want to go to Paris, they want to go to Amsterdam. What other places can people go, Lee, when they're down there in the London area? Where are other places that people can visit? Anything that's famous or historic about the London area that people?
There's obviously about? Buckingham Palace, the London Eye, Thames.
Yeah,
all the usual spots. Darren,
Houses of Parliament. Yeah, Houses of Parliament. Where else? You got Madame Tussauds, Baker Street, where you get the train to Wembley. They have big Sherlock Holmes things if you like Sherlock Holmes. And just outside of London, they have the Harry Potter experience. So for all the Harry Potter fans, you can book this up. There's a Harry Potter themed bus takes you from King's Cross Station, I believe, to Harry Potter experience just outside of London. And for all the I'm not a Harry Potter freak, but for all the Harry Potter fans, at King's Cross Station, there's the platform 9 3/4. There's a thing there where you can have pictures taken and stuff like that if you're into Harry Potter. I mean, I'm not into Harry Potter, and I must admit, once drunk, I upset a load of Italian tourists. They were trying to take a picture. I just run across, and then they go, "Oh," just gesticulating at me. They're going, "Oh, they're typical drunken football fans," just singing football songs. And yeah, sorry, that sounds bad.
Falcon fans,
just to resist a photo.
If you want to bring your cape and your wand, as you can see, Darren has let us know about the area where they're doing tours for Harry Potter. Harry Potter is actually a pretty big, name out there, from the movies to the video game that just came out recently, and of course what he has going on with that whole Harry Potter. I've never seen it, so I don't know much about it, but I just know that the fans behind it are some really diehard, passionate fans of Harry Potter. So you never know who's coming out there to London to go do a Harry Potter tour. But if we do have some fans, I'm glad Darren just put that out there for fans to know. Thomas?
I can get the link and put it on. Also, we've got famous parks as well, like Hyde Park, Kensington Gardens, which I believe, I don't know which of the royals sometimes live there, but one of the royals lives next to Kensington Gardens. But Hyde Park's a massive.
Darren, how far is Windsor outside central London?
By train, it's about 45 minutes to an hour. So you got Windsor as well. You've got Windsor Castle, one of the royal family live there. Same with Buckingham Palace. They do tours, but I think they only do certain parts of Buckingham Palace, not the whole.
They do many either.
Thing. No, you can't go and sit and have a cup of tea with a king. No, can't do that.
None of us Falcon fans can.
Although that Falcon fan who wears a crown, he might be able to get it.
Joseph.
I'm sure he'll be there. Did Joseph's coming? Tom?
I don't think he's got the etiquette.
He
we were talking about it yesterday.
With us, yeah.
I could see him on a balcony waving,
Yeah, he's trying to pick a fight with somebody else.
He's going to be the one that is probably going to be kicked out of that area. I'm so proud. He makes a lot of noise when he shows up in these games. But he's a diehard fan.
Yeah. We'll look after him. He's good. It's fine. It's been no problem. So, and the good thing about
I've got more respect for somebody like that than somebody that doesn't turn up and says they're Falcons fan.
Oh yeah, and we're coming out there with the whole shebang, man. We're trying
to
get a chance and put the songs out there too as well. We have our
I think Kevin met him a few years back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's always good. Lee, I didn't get a chance to meet you when you came over here to the stage. We was at the game together.
We never actually crossed paths, but
you was at the same game I was at, but we didn't get a chance to
I'm hoping to get back over next year. Hoping.
We will. Don't forget October 1st, man, in London. We are there.
Unless it's the Germany. We've got Germany next year, potentially.
I told you.
Put it out there. Put it out there, Lee.
I told you we're going to London next year. The Germany next year.
Yeah.
I need to prepare my liver.
I can see it happening. Thomas, what you got, brother?
So we have another question coming where someone personally texted me. They was like, hey, we're flying into London. However, we're going to spend a couple of days somewhere else. But when is the best time to leave and what to pack? So the weather. They want to know about the weather.
It's so
time, to be fair, because we're changing seasons at that time of year. So you could have one nice warm day and then it'd be throwing it down with the rain the next day. So
I would say bring maybe
jackets as well as
bring a fleece for sure. Yeah, definitely bring a fleece or a hoodie or something like that. Because it's, like Lee was saying, it's so unpredictable. I mean, I can go out to work in the morning, it's cold, being fully layered, and then by lunchtime you're sweating because it's like, what's going on? It's up baking hot again. So we're so unpredictable in London now. Whether it is so, it's hard to. I'd say just bring something in case. Just bring a fleece or a hoodie.
Something warm just in case.
But we don't need a snowsuit.
No,
not yet. Not yet. Although I wouldn't rule it out, but yeah.
Falcon fans, bring your questions, bring your comments to the chat. We're getting ready to wrap up here soon. Talking with Lee and Darren, who's over there in the London area, helping us out with Rise Up Tour information. What's up, Darren?
Sorry, man. Another useful thing to know about when you actually go to the game is, whereas in the States you'd have like all Falcons fans and a few visiting fans. Mm-hmm. At the games at Wembley, all 32 teams normally are represented. So you may have the misfortune of what I did once.
No fighting, guys.
I don't always have fighting.
See, Darren, be on a fine leash.
I had my girlfriend at the time. We had a fan rally in Regent Street, which is one of the main thoroughfares in London. That the players would go on stage from each team and talk. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the team in London at the time were the Aints, so I was like giving it to them on stage. Like, can't repeat what I was saying, but I was just giving it to them, and this Aints fan was just chattering behind me. And I remember I just turned and literally lifted him up off the floor and said, just said if he wanted to talk to me a bit more. And then I remember my girlfriend at the time, she literally just grabbed me by the hood and dragged me off down the street, and I was going, hey. So you may meet fans from other teams. And
Darren, that's kind of the reason why I'm single, bro.
That's why I am.
Falcon fans need to have. I mean, we want diehard fans to go out to London and go to these games, chanting and cheering. But
guys, I had a Carolina.
That's some diehard stuff. Going toe to toe with the Aints fans in the Aints fan ready. That's dope.
Guys, I had a Carolina Panthers delivery driver the other day, and we were about to throw hands.
So look, let me ask you.
But that's why I can never go to New Orleans to watch a game, because I know I'll be barred from the States.
I've done it.
Oh, trust me, going down there to their environment, Thomas can tell you, we turn up all the time. I
was there 2019 when we, I think we sacked Breeze 7 times, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And we were talking shite all day.
So, that's what I mean. If you guys are there, then I'll feel more comfortable. Because if there's like a big group, I'll be like, okay, it's cool.
Of course. You know, when Rise Up Tour rolls, man, we roll up in numbers, man, and we're doing really good this year with people sitting in the same section. Of course, we want to go ahead and start creating these chants and getting more of the Rise Up Tour name out there. So London, you never know what we can put together. Darren, Lee, you guys are in the area, so passionate fan base when it comes to soccer. Maybe you guys can help us out with some chants for London, so Falcon fans can get involved, because we want to show the NFL fan bases that's going to show up to this game that we are a strong fan base. And when we show up together, we're going to be a problem on the field, and we're going to be a problem in the stands too as well. Thomas, what you got, brother?
So this is a random question. Are we putting cream in your tea, or are we putting milk?
Milk.
So it's tea time.
That was unanimous. Milk.
So it's just for you guys. I drink more coffee than tea.
Okay.
So,
but the thing is, in London now, we have so many different types of tea. Now we have all these different flavored teas, and a big thing in London at the moment is a Japanese or Korean thing. Where everywhere you go, there's like bubble tea shops.
Bubble tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my nephew is obsessed with bubble tea. I don't know the big. I tasted it once to spell it out, and they weren't. But he seems to.
Not my thing.
What are some do's and don'ts of London, Darren, for fans that's traveling for the first time? Some people, fly over different countries and say, I can do whatever I want to do. I can do whatever I want to do. It's what are some do's and don'ts, Darren?
As long as you stick to the main touristy areas and stuff like that, you're not really going to have too much of a problem. And the thing is as well, always keep. Unfortunately, we have a lot of pickpockets on the subway, so keep your stuff in your front pockets. Don't leave your bag open at the back.
That's not just London. That's any.
No, that's everywhere. Yeah.
For sure.
But more so in London now.
Just be aware of your surroundings.
Well, here in Atlanta,
phone theft. I mean, if you're in a bar, always make sure you leave. If you're going to the restroom, take your phone with you, or give it to someone there. Another thing, again, it's just street savvy, I guess, because
Just use your common
again,
sense.
don't leave your drinks unattended, and
It's a big thing
yeah,
in the
you
UK
just-
at the minute, trying to protect people from drink spiking, because there's been a lot of
yeah,
it. Around.
Mhm.
yeah.
So just be mindful of who is around you. Don't do
Yeah.
something in London that you wouldn't do at home.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, and then also also what I think people got to realise is a lot of places, like especially bars in London now, are card only, so they don't take cash. You have to use your card. Same as I think Wembley might be. I'm not sure if Wembley's cashless yet.
I know the
cash-
Benz is.
like,
Yeah,
That caught me
yeah.
out last time I was over.
Mhm.
I mean, the Tottenham Stadium is, but Wembley, I'm pretty sure it's cashless only. I mean, most of the state bars around there are going to be cashless. So, yeah, I mean,
My
here,
dad
like,
did say it was he had to use his card everywhere when he was down for the cup final.
Mhm.
yeah, and okay, so another don't is if you've got a cash, what do you call it, a contactless debit card. Just remember, you can use that to get on the subway. You don't need to buy an Oyster card because it acts as your Oyster card, so you don't need to buy that.
Guys, it might be worth as well, rather than using your debit card that you use at home, maybe getting a travel card. Then you don't get all the transaction fees with currency exchange, etc.
Mm.
Then it sorts it out into local currency. So you just tap and go rather than thinking, well, how much have I spent here?
Yeah, I mean, an Oyster card is about £5, and then it's just like the Marta, the card you have at Marta. You just add it on as you go along. But I didn't think that, Lee. Yeah, I didn't think.
Yeah, that's what I did last
Obviously-
time, and literally I could track what I'm spending a lot easier than trying to work out transaction fees, etc.
Mhm.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I know people say go on the sightseeing buses, but you can quite easily jump on a regular bus and go around and see a lot of the sites as well. And I think maybe buying stuff in advance, like getting tickets in advance, will help as well, especially to the major tourist spots, because you don't want to get there and then have to wait like an hour, 2 hours in line to get in.
If you know you want to do something while you're in town, just get it booked. The sooner you book it.
Or get the concierge at your hotel. Just say, listen, I want to go to Buckingham Palace tomorrow. Can you sort it out? And then see if they do that for you.
Yeah, the locals will always advise you the best. They know the city. Like Darren's a local, so he knows the city like back of his hand.
That is true, man. I appreciate this, Darren Lee. Thomas, I was gonna ask him how far, the Manchester Stadium, is.
That's up near me, so we're looking probably 2.5 hours on the train at least.
3 hours
Yeah,
by
it's
train
about-
to go to the Etihad.
Empty Head, yeah.
Yeah,
Sheesh. Throwing those jokes in there, huh, Darren?
It's not touching Bramall Lane though. What can I say?
No. And it's nowhere near our stadium either. But
So it's a 3-hour trip from London.
Yeah, give or take.
But you should be able to get tickets because it's
Is
quite
it
empty.
possible that during that week that Manchester City will probably be playing at home too as well?
Jack, I'll keep you posted. Schedule's not out for another, I think, 2
Yeah.
or 3 weeks.
Couple of
So I'll
weeks.
let
It's
you
the
know.
15th, right?
Something along them lines.
Mhm.
I'll try and sort
But
it out.
the thing-
Please.
But
keep
the
me
thing
updated.
is here, like in the States, I guess, is if you go and try and book them through like an agency, they just cost stupid amounts.
Because we looked at stuff up, trying to get these tickets in advance because I've had an absolute nightmare trying to get all the tickets.
You're in a
Yeah,
in right now, right?
They're ridiculous
Yeah.
prices already. It's not good.
the one plus side, I guess, if they're playing in London and they're playing Tottenham, I have membership cards for Tottenham. So if they were to play Tottenham, then but you'll be with the Spurs Tottenham fans. You wouldn't be obviously with the City fans. But
Yeah.
if they're it depends what team in London they're playing. I mean, there's multiple fans, I guess, who might have access to tickets for those teams.
Soccer is a thing where if you're not sitting on your side of your supporters,
It can get dangerous.
it can get very dangerous.
Yeah, oh,
You know
yeah.
about that.
Oh yeah,
Lee and
especially my
Darren,
team. My
Manchester
team, the
City is-
only-
So, can I wear my Manchester City jersey around London? Is that okay, or is people going to take it?
Yeah, people might give you dirty looks.
Do what you do.
I might say he's not with me. He's not with me. I don't know him, but yes, I am.
Okay.
So
Okay.
another
It's
guy
like,
that's in our UK group, he's the Sheffield Wednesday fan. So it's when Atlanta's playing, it's the only day we see eye to eye.
Yeah,
How is
and
that
it's like me with
football, is it,
Kevin.
the last couple of weeks?
Yeah. It's been
Mine and Kevin's team absolutely hate one another, and when we play, there's violence all the time. So, yeah, it's a good job we don't play each other much.
Thomas, I'm good on the questions. I'm ready to go to London. This is great for Falcon fans to get a chance to come in here and hear some information from somebody who's on the ground in London, because I know we can make the post and put things out there for fans to read and respond to. But now we get a chance to speak with Darren and speak with Lee. You guys have been doing a big part of responding to a lot of posts and a lot of comments from our previous posts, and we're going to put some more out too as well with London. And fans want to know, so we're glad that you guys can actually take some time out your day.
Guys, if anyone's got any questions, just post messages, and when we get a time, we'll just put you an answer back. Or if I don't know myself, I can try and get hold of the answer for them.
Mm-hmm.
And remember,
same here.
And remember, too, guys. So if they respond back to you like at 3:00 in the morning, is because they're 5 hours ahead of us. So,
we had that when we first designed the group. Me up at 4 a.m.
So it was like, you can ask a question. They're like, well, damn, they didn't respond. But at 3:00 in the morning, they're responding back. Like, why is Lee responding back to me at 3:00 in the morning? Because those are normal hours for him, right? So
I'm just getting up for work, guys.
Right. So I guess this is the other question. Typically on the flights, and Darren, this may be for you because you're in the travel industry. So the flight. So would you recommend people flying back after the football game, or just wait until Monday?
I'll say wait till the Monday. Yeah, because the flights are Monday morning. The flights from the UK to the US tend to leave in the morning anyway. So wait till the Monday.
Guys, I just enjoy the game day and fly by the day after. So that's what I've always done. I've left the day after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let all the carnage deal with London.
Yeah.
Have a few beers.
Just enjoy the experience. And leave the next day or the day after, maybe, just depending on what you want to do. But I mean, definitely leave the next day, because as I say, flights from the UK to the US tend to depart in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
So I doubt there'll be any.
You might get a few at night, but it's usually like New York, Boston.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you'll leave here like at midday or something and get home about 3:00 in the afternoon or something like that. It's because of the time differences and stuff, and also maybe the jet lag is something to take into consideration on the way home as well, because we're 5 hours ahead of you.
What I do when I fly, I stay up until I get on the plane. Literally, as soon as you leave the US, try and go to sleep. I think you'd be in a better situation.
Yep.
So you basically, when you're waking up, you're on local time.
Yep. Good 7-hour flight or so. What, 8 hours?
8 hours. Yeah, I think it's 9 hours out. 9 hours. Sorry, 8 hours in, 9 hours out. Because there's always an hour less for us coming home.
Yeah.
So.
And you get that tailwind coming back over here.
Yeah.
Now we know the game is in October, so of course, Darren, Lee, we have to do this again, because there's going to be a lot more people added to the group. There's going to be a lot more people that's going to London, and we want to make sure everybody can be involved with this, because people want to know, what is the Rise Up Tour doing? Do they have anything planned? What's going on with Wembley? What's going on with the stadium? What's going on?
And we'll let the cat out the bag, Jack. So yes, Lee and Darren and Kevin, they're working on putting some stuff together. So when they're ready to announce it, they will announce it. But they're trying to put something together. So they're working on it, guys. So we're not trying to slow roll anybody and not give you any information. But again, it's just like time travel, right? You got to send it across and they'll send it back.
Yeah.
Somebody asked a question saying, "What's the weather like in October?" Lee and Darren went over that. You definitely want to pack.
It's patchy, we would say definitely just bring
pack something warm. Just be on the safe side.
Yeah. Just bring a fleece or a hoodie in, and you should be good.
It's definitely going to be hoodie weather. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you've been hanging around too many people in the U.S., man.
Definitely.
Lee got his hoodie sitting in the room.
I was over in November, and you guys were complaining it was freezing. It's a beautiful summer's day to me.
Yeah, Atlanta folks, we're not used to something when it comes to cold weather. We actually got some cold weather recently, where it's like May, and you're getting like low temperatures of like 40s at night. It's like, what the hell is this coming from? Like, it's supposed to be May. It's supposed to be like 90-some degrees, but it happens from time to time. So Falcon fans, pack your short sleeve, but definitely pack your long sleeves, pack your hoodies too as well. Your bucket hats. I know Falcon fans love to wearing those bucket hats. Thomas, you got your bucket hat too as well, I'm sure. But we are
So let me ask you this: where's a great steakhouse?
Ooh.
I think
Steakhouse.
Aaron's going to be a boy for that.
Steakhouse, Darren?
I don't know. There's meant to be a good one at the Hippodrome. Is like a casino, and it does have a really good steakhouse there. But in that,
Is it back
in that
open?
particular, yeah,
It was
it's back
refurbing it
open again.
last time I was down.
Yeah, I think they've reopened it now. But in that particular area, there's a lot of steakhouses, restaurants. But the good thing about the Hippodrome is there's another tip for some of the guys. If you want to see the games,
Yeah,
Like
it's
later
basically
in-
where we all meet up.
yeah,
On
like
Sunday,
later in the day.
Show every game.
Wait,
It's
yeah,
the only
so
place
there's,
in the UK.
there's places where you guys meet up?
Yeah, so you go downstairs and they have literally every game going on. So they have like a TV screen. It's showing back-to-back games, so like the 4 o'clock games
Yeah.
and the late game. And then you have fans from all different teams in and around meeting up
It's
with
the only
you.
place in the UK that has that.
And this is a
Yeah,
standing up, sit down type of area too as well?
So it's mainly sitting down, but you can stand up at the back. And
Yeah.
they do wings and pitchers of beer and stuff like that. And upstairs, if you want to gamble, you obviously got the casino. And
Does it have music
right up-
downstairs too as well, Darren?
no, not really.
Music.
But that particular
Surely
area,
clubs
there's a lot.
nowhere.
Mhm.
But that particular area, there's a lot of restaurants and clubs and bars and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's right in the tourist kind of
Like Leicester
Hotspot, but-
Square area.
and unless you and from Wembley, it's like you have to take two trains to get there, but it's not. It doesn't take that long. So, I mean, obviously, we'd take you guys if we're going, which I think we will. Then also we say to people like, if you want to just follow us, we'll take you down there. But it's
We were
Yeah, like
talking
Lee was
earlier
saying.
about maybe going to the Big Easy, which is like barbecue. Because I wanted to go
Yeah.
last time I was down and we didn't get a chance.
Mhm.
So,
because on Saturday night there's a place, a bar opposite the Big Easy called the Maple Leaf. It's a Canadian sports bar, and they show college football. So if anybody wants to see, maybe if Georgia are playing, they might have the Georgia game on in there for
Of
people.
course, we want to see when Georgia's playing.
No,
That was
the
the
hell
next
we
Go
don't.
question.
Dogs.
no,
Of
the
course.
How
hell
dare
we-
I? How dare I? That's scandalous, isn't it?
Okay,
You got
so
Florida State fan in the chat. Florida State fan in the chat.
Jack, there's a guy in our other group. He's a Tech fan.
Oh,
Yeah, he just
Did
deserves
he
to
go,
get
did he
bullied.
go to Tech?
No. He says it's the only
Had
college
to.
team in Atlanta.
Had to go to Tech. That's Tech fans because
He just
nobody on
needs
the
bullying.
outside of not going to Tech is.
He's a brum, isn't he? He's from Birmingham.
Good luck to him.
so
Tom, what you
okay.
got?
All right, so another question. So is the city walkable? Is it a walkable city? If you had to give it a scale rating of 1 to 10, 10 would be the highest being walkable. Would you say London is a walkable city?
Yes.
If you're in the tourist area, yes.
Yes.
Outside of that, no.
If you
So,
in the normal
I mean-
areas, as long as you use your common sense again, I think
Okay.
yes.
yeah.
But just be aware of your surroundings, like we say, in any big major city.
Yeah, and as long as you don't, not say stand, as long as you don't literally not have the cameras waving around and stuff, so
Yeah,
people going,
exactly.
"Oh yeah, look what they've got," and it's common sense. It's like when I was in Atlanta, I didn't have any problems whatsoever because I
No.
didn't look like a tourist until.
I have
And someone said to me until I actually spoke, they didn't think I was even like a tourist until I actually started talking, and then they're going, "Oh wow, you just came in, sat down." Yeah, it's cool.
I've always been told I'm more Atlanta than a lot of Atlantans.
Okay.
I was saying I've got more Falcons jerseys than I have normal clothes.
We ready, man. We are ready, Lee, and we're bringing the Falcons fan base out there from the Rise Up tour. I don't know if you guys seen the video of Thomas yesterday down at the the United Fan League tailgate that they had going on.
Yeah, the Fan Fanatic tailgate yesterday.
Fan Fanatic tailgate teams had pretty much, or fan clubs of all 32 teams was pretty much out there. The Rise Up tour, we had our members out there too as well. Everybody had a good time. A lot of those members that went yesterday are also going to London too as well. So we have a big group, Lee, Darren, as you guys can see.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
questions
yeah.
will be coming across the board However, we'll go ahead and bump that post that we were talking about earlier. We'll bump that post back up so people can still ask some more questions and get some more information from you all. Because from restaurants, things to do, parking, if people do decide to, I don't know.
Just remember, guys, we drive on the left, so be careful.
We drive the correct way.
Oh,
those jokes. Darren got no little jokes, man.
and
We drive manuals, guys, not automatics.
but you guys
And
are
we
not
wear
Big
jeans,
Neely
not
though
pants.
either.
What you say, Darren?
We wear jeans, not pants.
Hey man, look at tough guy down here, man. Hey, so look, and also too, everything is kilometers, right? So that's
Oh yeah.
so it's a mile.
I couldn't tell you.
So it's almost like that's like a half a
No, it's not
mile.
miles.
So for 1 kilometer, it's a half a mile.
Yeah, I do miles.
Yeah.
I find it easier.
Darren,
Just use Google Maps.
do have a question for you. People was asking about, the Gucci and the Prada. London is big for that type of stuff too as well. Where is this fancy shopping district that tourists go to whenever they're shopping? Where's your Buckhead, Atlanta, kinda in your area?
Well, the main shopping areas is an area called the West End. So we have like Oxford Street, which is where all the main kind of big department stores and stuff like that. Gucci, I think maybe Harrods. Yeah, I think Harrods, which is in Knightsbridge, which is just off of Hyde Park. So Harrods might be a good call. Bond Street, I think, has a lot of designer shops, but then Bond Street is just off of Oxford Street. So yeah, Oxford Street's like our Peachtree, basically. And then all the shops are off that. So, but it's quite a big street, so you can maybe just jump on a bus and go from one end to the other. At the top end is Hyde Park, so if you want to spend some time in Hyde Park, you can do that too. And then you can either walk down, or to walk down Oxford Street north to south would be about 25-30 minutes, but then off of that you've got Regent Street, Bond Street. Yeah, it's a nice place to be around. And if you're going to go to the opposite end of the scale, there's a place called I'm going to get embarrassed here, Lee, called Primark.
Primani.
Yeah, and it sells jeans for like $5. And
Cheap.
you get tourists literally walking out of the store with.
Yeah, there's actually one in
suitcases.
Boston. Last time I was in Boston, there was one.
Oh wow!
No.
So
Hey,
yeah,
look,
they come out with suitcases of clothes. You see people just walking out with like bags of clothes because they're so cheap. And
Ballers.
so yeah, that's the opposite side.
So look, I know you guys may not be able to answer this question, but I'm assuming Lush is a makeup store. So, but if you can't, that's fine.
I thought it was a soap store.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like soap
you know
and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
hell, if I know, I don't.
Like
So
when you
there's
get
one
in
of
the
them on
bath and-
Oxford Street.
when you
I'm
get in
a
the bath
Walmart
and
guy.
stuff like that.
Okay, so they want to know what a Lush store is.
It's a soap store. It sells like scented
Yeah,
soaps,
so,
I think, Lee.
Like bath bombs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you
Okay,
stink.
well,
If you feel stink, go in there. You can stink. Yeah. Or we also have Body Shop, which is like an equivalent of that too.
Okay. What about a place to get a
But
haircut?
there's one of those on Oxford Street. So yeah, if you're in that area, there's a massive like Lush store there, and I think there's 2 Body Shops on Oxford Street. So yeah, that's the main place, kind of, if you want to go shopping and stuff like that. And then, as I say, if you go to Harrods at Knightsbridge, that's where you get all the real pricey stuff, designer stuff. But unfortunately, does he own Harrods? No, I thought the owner of Jake's owned Harrods. He doesn't know. And something else. But yeah, but that's nice. Knightsbridge is really, but you have to dress, I think, a certain way to get in. I don't think you can wear like sneakers and jeans and stuff. I think you have
I
to
don't
be.
think I get away with it.
I have to remember that
Yeah,
too as well. 'Cause
I've
I'm
never
coming
been
out
in
there
there.
with like 400 or 500 pair of Jordans, so everybody's looking at me like, "Where you get all those shoes from?" But I'm a big Jordan guy, so
So look, let
I
me
have
ask
to
you
put the
this.
Jordans away and put on some.
And also on Oxford Street,
some nice.
we have a
Steve
night
Maddens.
town as well. So
Yeah, they usually have all
Yeah,
the jerseys.
yeah, so there'll be loads of Falcons and Jag stuff in the night town, because on the weekend of the games, they tend to transform the store into NFL, and so they have loads of like.
Guys, if you're
But it's
flying
gonna be-
over, I just buy your merch back home. It's because it'd be really expensive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Totally
bother
agree, 100%.
personally. Even I ship it
not
from the
unless you want-
States.
I'm going to
It's
take
cheaper.
Lee's word for that. I'm going to take Lee's word for that. It's just going to be a lot of fishing
Yeah,
trips and a lot of
you're
drinking.
just
That's
crying
it.
out prices. But one other thing, Lee, I've
Yes, sir.
not done it, but we don't have tailgate, do we, at Wembley? I've not
Not
seen
really.
it.
Not like the US.
No,
put
we-
it that way.
We just go to the bars around the stadium instead.
Is there somewhere that we can plan a meetup before the game, though, near Wembley?
Yeah. We're looking into. I mean, Kevin made a good suggestion. There's
Yeah.
a place called the Green Man, and it's up on the hill, but it's a huge bar, has a massive outdoor area,
Yeah.
and that would be
It's
perfect. That'd be
usually the go-to
tailor-made
place.
for us. Yeah, and it's only like a
Falcon
10-minute
fans,
walk back to the
let's,
stadium down the hill.
Let's get ready for London. This is going to be great. We get the chance to talk to you guys, and then soon we get the chance to meet and party together and represent the Atlanta Falcons the correct way. Thomas.
Oh, and also one thing is, I hope people understand my accent, because unfortunately, when you come to London, a lot of them sound just like me. So if you're having trouble with this for me now, could get a bit difficult.
Even
I'm
I
good.
struggle with that, Darren.
Oh no, I'm good. Trust me.
Shut up.
I understand.
Right,
I
geezer.
understand.
Yeah.
This is
I
great.
understand. Now, if you guys get into a shouting match, I may not understand that, but
Oh no, if I'm with other people from London, we use slang then, so get it. I remember the very first time I went to the States, my aunt said to me, "Well, you got to slow right down because your uncle's not going to understand a word you're going to say." So when I go to the States now, I subconsciously slow down because. But I remember one time I slowed down a bit too much, and this person was going, "I'm not stupid." I went, right. But I said, if I start speaking at my normal speed, you ain't going to understand shit. Because we had a famous story in Vegas. There's me and my friend from South London, a friend from South Africa, and a friend from Italy. And each morning we get to the vending machine and get 4 bottles of water. And they didn't have it was broken. So my friend goes, I'll go downstairs and get 4 bottles of water. But by this point, we were like both from South London, talking to each other normally, slang. And I went downstairs and I said, "Can I have 4 bottles of water?" And she went, "Water?" I mean, "Yeah, water, pointing." She goes, "What's water?" And then I came back up and I said, "I can't get any." And I said, "What?" I said, "She doesn't understand what I'm saying." So my South African friend went up and said 4 bottles of water, and she gave it to him. I went, whoa. I said, "How the fuck do you understand him and not understand me?" And she goes, "What's water?" I went, "Water? It's water."
That's normal for us, though.
Sorry, it's just
So for Falcon fans, the
tomato.
accent is strong too as well. It is definitely strong. Go ahead, Darren.
yeah. Once we get going, it's but I know obviously to be slow down.
For me,
No slang.
I play esports, so I'm in chats with a lot of people in the UK area too as well. A lot of Manchester United fans.
Oh, you don't like to say that on here. That's a dirty word.
Nah. But most of the Man United fans are from London anyway, so it doesn't.
Yeah, they're not even from Manchester.
Glory support.
Thomas, you see how the trash talk comes in? Like as soon as you mention another soccer team, like the trash talk, like
They're like
it's
the Patriots fans, aren't they? If the NFL team for Man United would be,
that's
the
how we
Patriots,
compare them. They're only interested when they're winning.
Yeah, asshole.
I work with a Man United fan who's got 2 teams.
I'm gonna love this one out there in London. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be the greatest weekend one of my life. I'm telling you, Thomas. What do we got, man? Because we're working on a lot of things here going forward. Lee and Darren is definitely working on some stuff. Kevin too as well. But big kudos to you guys for not only taking the time but actually giving us information that Falcon fans can use on their trip going forward.
That's cool.
This is great, Thomas. I do have to make a run here in just a second. So thank you all. Thank you all for everything. I know I'll be in London, and we're bringing a lot of Falcon fans with us from the Rise Up tour. So
and we'll circle back. We'll bring you guys back on. We'll bring you guys back on and let people build up questions or whatever. And once we get everything necessarily finalized, we'll bring you guys back on. Probably bring you guys back on twice. Before,
but it's like what Lee said. If somebody wants to ask me a question direct, that's fine. They can just contact me. I mean, a few people have already, and I've helped them out, so it's all good.
Right. So look, let me ask you. So tickets. So we have a guy here in the States who gets tickets. Right. People are purchasing tickets. But I guess can you go over how's the stadium kind of set up? The visiting side, the home side. Do they run through a tunnel? Can you give it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Wembley is kind of. I think the Jags are on the north side, where
Yeah.
of the stadium, but it's no real kind of segregation. What they're trying to
there's
do
no
is they're trying to
divide.
get everybody
Everyone's
else
like in
to
with
support
each
the
other.
Jags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're trying to get all the other teams to support the Jags, and then obviously you have the team who are playing the Jags, and they've become a bit more sensible, Wembley. Because I remember the very first Jags game here I went to, and of all the teams to pick, they picked the 49ers, who got one of the biggest fan bases, and it was embarrassing. Because you walked in the stadium and it was red.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pocket for the Jaguars fans, but gradually over the years, the more they've come over, their fan base is built. It's not huge, but what tends to happen is they try and get supporters of the other teams to cheer for the Jags as well. So you're going to have loads of people mixed in with you. I mean, you could be sitting there, you could have like a Steelers fan next to you, a Dallas fan, and all sorts. I mean, what you could try and do is, I don't know how the ticketing works in the States, is to try and buy a certain block so you're all in there together.
Mm-hmm.
But and the tunnel as well. I mean, the tunnels. Yeah, there's one. I think there's one either side. Yeah, which they come out of. So the Falcons obviously will come out first, and they do the big build up, and then for the Jags they go a bit over the top. They have that mascot which comes down from the top of the stadium roof, and then
that raccoon.
Jackson DeVille. So yeah, they're trying to get people to cheer for the Jags.
Sick
but,
raccoon.
Yeah. Beat the shit out of
Raccoon.
That's a weird looking.
But yeah.
Weird looking thing.
it.
I love
But
that.
that's what they're trying to do.
He did say what we talked about, Thomas, trying to get that section too as well, a block of fans to sit in a group together. That's big.
I mean, there's a couple of us in the UK already in block 506. There's about 5 of us. So
You said block 506?
506, yeah. It's like it's a third level corner of the end, in the corner of the end zone. So,
well, I'm behind Falcons bench. It's cost me an absolute fortune.
It's worth it, Lee.
But those tickets where we are about $120.
Jack, I have been stressing all week trying to get these tickets.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. I mean, we're
before they
coming
hit the black market.
So many other Falcons fan groups coming out from different countries too as well. I believe Falcons Australia, Falcons Sweden, a couple other group members over there in that area. Falcons Germany.
When I last time went up to Seattle, the Monday night game, I saw quite a lot of German Falcons fans there. So I think we're growing over that, and they've got good semi-professional American leagues, American football leagues.
Yeah.
So they're a bit more used to it than we are. They've had it a lot more years.
Falcon fans.
So wait, and then what's the beer of choice in the stadium? Is it Budweiser?
Stella.
In the stadium?
I don't know what they sell. You're going to be disappointed in the stadium because the facilities we have and the food choices are nowhere near what the venues have. We just have like generic burgers.
It's expensive.
And chips. Yeah. Seriously, I mean, if you want to have beers,
guys, take a loan out.
Drink before the game. Drink them before the game in the bar.
Guys,
because
take a loan
when
out?
you go in, when you go in Wembley, it's like nearly $10, I think, for a beer. It's like crazy.
And I don't think you guys sometimes realize how cheap the Benz is for food and drink, etc.
Well, definitely.
And another.
They're going to appreciate the Benz even more flying.
I know it didn't used to be in the Dome. It used to be really expensive.
So one really important thing for you guys going to McDonald's or going for breakfast and stuff like that is in the UK, we don't do refills. So if you've had your coffee, do not expect another one because you won't get one. We don't do free refills.
Just go free fry up, guys.
Yeah. So if you go into McDonald's and you order your Coke, you get the one Coke.
You have to pay for it.
You can't go up to a machine and get another one. And I think the only place you can do that is Subway. I think that's the only place. But
Subway,
Five Guys,
places like that.
Yeah, so just so they don't get a rude awakening when they go to a hotel and have breakfast. It's. Well, I think
those hotels they will do when you're doing breakfast. It will be unlimited.
Yeah,
I work at a hotel. You get as much food and much coffee as you want for. I think it's £14.
Here I go over here trying to get some more
regular restaurants
ain't working no more.
Regular restaurants and fast food chains.
Thomas, please don't get me locked up trying to get another refill out there in London.
Man.
Please. Please.
Hey, Jack, we can share a cell together when I get into a fight with another Bama fan.
Thomas said,
I'll bail you out, yeah.
Because we know it's going to happen.
So, also, with
And if I see
go ahead, Darren.
if I see an Aints fan, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get locked up.
On your end, Lee, because you said you got tickets behind the Falcons bench.
Yes.
Are you like on the 50-yard line?
Lee has.
Yeah, I'm on the 50.
No, Lee has. I'm not me. I'm in the corner of the end zone, upper tier. There's, I think it's about 6 or 7 of us Falcons fans there, and our tickets cost about $130. About $130.
Okay.
They're not cheap. They're not cheap.
No, they're not
They're
cheap at all.
This is great. Falcon fans, we're going to London. And of course, everybody here in the Rise Up Tour who wants to go to London, we really appreciate you all for tuning in.
Guys, if anyone's thinking about it, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
You may never get another chance.
Yeah.
Just do it.
No. We don't know what's around the corner, do you?
Lee, what you just said is true, because I missed the last 2 times the Falcons went, and I said I have to go. Like, I really have to be out here for this. So
I was talking to a couple of weeks back. I've been trying to talk a lot of friends that I've not seen in years coming over, and a lot of them are thinking about it. You just need to get them to do it. Pull the plug.
Falcon fans, for those that are going to London, pull up to the next Rise Up Tour podcast when we have Lee and Darren on. If you missed this one, definitely you can ask questions in the chat. Go ahead and put it on the post too as well. Lee and Darren will find a way to respond. Don't forget about the time difference too as well. Thomas, we got a lot going on with the Rise Up Tour. Detroit, London, Arizona, New York. Where else? New Orleans, Carolina, Tampa, and that missing Tennessee. So the Rise Up Tour is definitely hitting the road this year.
Tennessee.
And it's going down in a major way when we get to London. So with that being said, Lee, Darren, I really appreciate your time being here on the live podcast. And go ahead, Darren.
Like what Lee was saying, if anybody's thinking about it, just do it, because like I say, you've got guys over here who can help you out, and so there's no need to be worried or anything like that. We can give you good advice, and then obviously we're all going to meet up at some point. So it's all going to be great, and this will be great to experience one of your kind of meetups before, because I've always seen, because I'm part of the group, I'm really jealous. I'm saying, we're going to Miami, we're going to go on a boat, we're going to do this, and I'm like, shit, I wish I could be doing that.
We don't get that.
And then I'll see you in like New Orleans dancing in the streets and stuff like that, and I'm like, fuck, I want to be doing that. And it's just amazing, some of the things like you guys do, and it's just like we're so jealous over this side of the pond. It's like, but as I say, I'm saying,
put that stuff together, but at the end of the day, it's all for the fans. It's all for the fans.
And Lee, what was the section behind the 50-yard line for the Falcons side?
Just give me a second.
This is going to help us out big.
So
Darren, it's all for the fans at the end of the day.
I think it's somewhat along those lines.
We talk about it so much, me and Thomas, about how we want to find different ways for the fans to do X, Y, and Z to come together.
121.
121, section 121.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys heard it. So look, you guys, I really do appreciate you guys taking the part of your evening. Just like the sun is still out over there.
First time in a long time we've had sun.
That won't be
used
raining
to it.
tomorrow.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your evening, because I know when we do text in our little group chat, it's like 10 o'clock over here, early morning, or vice versa. So, we do appreciate you guys taking the time. And like I said, we're going to bring you guys back probably 2 more times as we lead up to it, to make sure that everybody's comfortable. That's the thing, like Lee said earlier, this year, first, do it. Just do it. Like, we have people on the ground who are Falcons fans who can give us the information. It's the whole purpose of the podcast, right?
It's the unknown that's scary to people. I remember that first time I traveled. Just do it. It's not always as scary as it seems.
Yeah, but guess what?
And also,
you ate good food. People took great care of you, and they led you in the right direction.
Definitely. And the rest is history.
The rest is history. And then look at you. Now you're trying to return the favor.
Yeah, now I have Falcon debt.
So, okay, cool.
But also, I don't know if I've got asked this before, and I've found this out, that people maybe renewing their passports, it only has to be valid for the duration of your stay. So it doesn't have to be like 6 months or something like that. It just has
Is
to
it
be
not
valid
6
for the
months anymore,
duration of your
Darren?
stay.
Good, right?
Not
because
for those guys coming over here.
Just remember, guys, to sort your visa Estes out within a good month or so before you travel.
right, and the visa and the ESTA. So the ESTA it's electronic. So
Yeah, it's
typically, right, it's electronic. So you don't have to go to the embassy and say you need to apply
No,
for a visa.
no.
No,
Typically,
you can do it
apply
online.
for it
You can do it
online,
online.
and
Yeah.
and it's automatically electronic.
literally, you could get it done in 30
Yep,
minutes.
it's automatic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's automatic, right?
So when they swipe the barcode of your passport, it comes up all the information. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
electronically done.
It's all electronically done. Well, guys, thank you for your time. We really do appreciate it. Jack, you got anything?
No, I really want to say thank you all. Otherwise than that, like, we're gonna have a great time, y'all. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
And Darren, Lee, Kevin too as well. Whoever else is helping out on your end, thank you, because once again, it's all for the Falcons fan base. It's for this right here. That shirt that Lee has on, Thomas, the hat. It's all for the Falcons. So let's put on a good event. Let's make some people have some fun, because people's gonna be going all over London. They're gonna be going from different areas to different areas, getting on the subway system, moving all over the place.
Yeah.
Different restaurants. But when we do have our meetup, or we do have our little mixer, whatever it is, we want fans to come together and say, "Wow, this is amazing what Falcon fans in London can do." So,
and we want
Well,
them to
this is
enjoy
just the start.
their stay. You know, we want them to get as much in as take in as much as possible. The game is great, but if you're coming all this way over, you might as well embrace everything else. And sure, if anybody needs any, like Lee was saying, any help with that, that's fine. Like Eurostar as well. I mean, if people want to go Paris, that's so easy to do as well. But yeah, I mean, we want people to just, like I did in Atlanta, I did all the tourist stuff, I did the whole thing. But a lot of people helped me, like give me advice where to go, where to eat, stuff like that. And now I'm in a position to do the same. Because it's a big deal. So I just want to make sure when people if they come over that they embrace the experience. Yeah.
And look, what we learned from this is don't eat the fried chicken.
No.
we
Nasty chicken.
We can definitely hear it from you all. Lee, you mentioned it in the chat too as well. Darren, you said it twice here on the podcast of how you guys are in a position to help Falcon fans who's coming over to the London area. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, man, I really want to say thank you all, because this is my first time going over there. I got a lot of information that's going to help me with my trip. And then when I get out there, man, we're really going to party. So once again, big shout out to you all for taking the time out your day, y'all. For real.
Well, thank you, guys.
Rise up.
Rise up, guys.
Yeah, rise up, man.
Rise up.
Rise up.
Well, it was